Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the reasons why we should travel, when is the good time to go, and what does that bring to your life, and also the reasons maybe why you shouldn't go, and maybe when is not the best time. So, some of you, might know that I've been born to quite a poor family, so I didn't have many opportunities as a child, to go and travel, but I did try my best. And as a teenager, I found myself going across the country by bus, by train, trying to find any good deal I can possibly get, and if that meant sleeping in a tent in somebody's garden, on the other side of the country, that was fine by me. It would still allow me to see new places and experience new cultures and new languages as well, so it was great. I have no regrets. It was just a way of me getting around. And later on, when I became self-sufficient, I would support myself. I started travel, and over the last 20 years I was lucky enough to travel a lot, to see a lot of places. So I will speak in this video from my own experience. So how did it start with me? So like I said with you, when I was a young girl, like I always felt I had this urge to go and see places, and that stayed with me. It's a part of my personality, and even till this day, when I say to people around me, "Oh, I'm going, to go and travel again next week, or I'm heading here, in a couple of weeks," they will just say like, "Oh my God, again," or "What's wrong with Europe? Why do you have to go that far?" Or or "You are so lucky." This is expression I actually don't like myself, because all my traveling has absolutely nothing to do with luck. I think I'm a strong believer that you have to make things happen, because it's not all about money. There's ways and means getting around it. There is a lot of cheap plane tickets and deals going around, that if you just put a bit of time into it and a bit of effort, the old saying, where there is a will, there is a way, that certainly goes here. And that's the way I travel, because I'm not a rich person by all means, but I was lucky enough to go and see many wonderful places. So I am grateful for that. So should you travel? I would say in general, by all means. It's a great way to improve yourself, and it's a great way for self-expansion, self-development. Make it happen. Go and see other places. That will open your eyes, for a lot of things. You mightn't even realize at that time, but exposure is the key, as I always say. And if you're exposed to different ways, you will be always way more open-minded, and that will actually help you greatly in life. Which I've seen myself looking at other people after years and years. I do feel very grateful, and it did help me in a lot of ways. It just happened that I tend to travel to a lot of third world countries, very poor countries a lot of the times. And I do prefer places that are off the beaten track, just to experience how the life really looks for the people. Like I'm not interested in the posh resorts, and it's all grand, but it doesn't really show you, the way the country really is. And it's very hard to make a real connection with people that way. So I would always seek more intimate, you could say, connections with people, and it's very hard to do it in those posh environments. So everyone has their own really places that they would like to go and see. I would just say keep your mind open. I was never particularly tied up on, oh, I want to see this place or that place. I would just seek opportunities and go, wherever, I could afford. There's few other things that, it would influence the way I choose places, but that's, I will talk about that in another episode. So going back to the topic now, should you go? In generally saying yes. I think the travel is great, especially, when you are young. I think it's way easier when you are young. You kind of find it easier to approach people. You find it easier to, accommodate certain difficulties that you might find along the way. But travel is for everyone in general. Even if you are older, if if you are lonely and you 70, go and experience travel. Do it in a safe way. I'm not saying here to be foolish, but by all means, I encourage the young and the older people now to get out there. If you're feeling lonely and if you're feeling stuck, it's a great way to go and travel solo. I've done that for many years. I've been to many places myself. In a matter of fact, I'd say 90% of my travels were done solo. Only recently, I found a travel companion, so that's kind of a new experience for me as well. It brings its own challenges. But it's great. It's a different type of travel. I think both types of travel, the solo or with someone or with a group, show you a different side of traveling, and you can take out different things from it. So I would encourage, the only thing that I would say, looking back at my own on my own experience of travel, it sort of for me became a routine after a while. So if I was coming back, let's say, from a place, I nearly would start looking for the next place, because that's the way it worked. I would always watch out for the deals and maybe cheap tickets or cheap hotels, or try to find an inspiration for the next place that I would like to visit. And it sort of became a routine of mine. And after a while, I sort of felt that when I was coming back from travels and I didn't have the next place to go, I felt miserable. I felt that, I wasn't happy in the place I was in. But that actually, had nothing to do with traveling per se. It was just, I think, it was a way of me trying to escape the life that I've built. So during that time, I felt that even when I went places, I didn't gain as much joy from it. And if you are, I suppose, miserable in your own life, in your own home, you are going to bring that with you wherever you go. So you have to be happy first. So for me, that time, I thought that if I go places and if I get myself out of my own home environment, that will bring the joy to me, because the travel was always something that would bring the joy in general. I was always very happy and jolly. That would definitely give me a good lift, if I was somewhere else experiencing things. So looking back, this is the only reason that I would say maybe you shouldn't travel. That if you are feeling low and stuck, and if you feel that maybe getting out of here is going to solve some of your problems, I am telling you now, it won't. But if you are going to travel because you want to experience something else, because you want a change of routine, or get away from the people around you, by all means, go. And in general, like I said, with that one exception, I would say go. Don't stop. Don't be put off by people telling you not to go. I've often traveled to places that maybe had a negative opinion amongst people here, especially in Europe, and I would still go. I'm a kind of a person that I like to see for myself whether what's said on the media, whether that is true, because a lot of places are portrayed in a very bad way or in a dangerous way. And you know what, I've been to a lot of those places, and once you get there, you meet the most wonderful people. And don't be always put off by other people's opinion. do your own research. Think about what do you want to get out of your travel. Do you prefer sun? Do you prefer mountains? What is it that you want out of it? Is it a yoga retreat on a beach, or is it an active trekking holiday, in the Himalayas? Think about what you want to do. A lot of the things, that you might think that they are so expensive, so difficult to do, don't have to be. Like, do your research. Like, even when I say like trekking the Himalayas, you would think like this is going to cost a fortune. Actually isn't. In a matter of fact, it's cheaper than, it can be cheaper than, a week holidays here in south of Ireland, where things are very expensive, and European retreats are gone through the roof. Hotel prices here are gone through the roof. So by all means, value for your money lies probably outside of Europe. Everyone likes different thing, but I would strongly encourage you to try and find, price that you might like, and try to find deals. Try to be open, to different places. Even you might think you won't like it, I'd still go and see it just for the experience. If you don't like it, it's a box ticked in a way, but you can say for yourself, then I've been it, I've done it, I'm glad I've seen it, I probably won't go back again. Or else you might find love in a place. I've been like that. I've been in that situation a couple of times where I actually went to the place, I wasn't really sure about it, I got a cheap flight and I went there and I loved it, and I kept coming back again and again and again. Like, so be open-minded. Anyway, thanks guys for this episode, and I hope you can like this video and subscribe. I don't get any money from YouTube, so it'd be great if you wish to buy me a coffee. A link is in the description, and thanks so much, and hope to see you very soon. Goodbye.